Hello there. MakeThumbnails.com is a website that allows you to simply create preview images or thumbnails from big images on your hard drive. In the simplest way, all you have to do is drag and drop the images into the browser. So this here is a folder of images that I have on my hard drive that have large images in them. So if you see the size of them, they're quite huge. If I want to create smaller preview images of those, I would have to use Photoshop or some kind of software or just MakeThumbnails.com. All I have to do is highlight the images that I want to have, drag them into the browser, and the browser automatically downloads a thumbnails.zip file for me, which contains smaller versions of that image. So if I now double click that one, you will see that it created smaller images of the ones that I dragged into the browser earlier. So this is the simplest way of doing that, but out of the box this might not be the way you want these images to look like, or maybe they become too big in terms of file size. So of course what you can do is also set the preferences of what kind of thumbnails you want to create. To do this, let's delete all the images here. To do this, you press the Set Options button, and there you have a preview of what the thumbnails look like. So in this case, I have 250 by 250 pixels with a high quality and no background. If I turn this background thing on here, it centers the image on a background and makes it really 250 by 250 pixels. If I don't like that color, I can just click the color picker here and pick a different color, and it will get applied to it. If 19K, for example, is too big for my taste, I can just drag the slider here and make smaller images by actually losing a bit of the quality. This can go down to being completely impossible to see, but it's a matter of like finding the right look and feel that you want to have and the quality size of it. You can also change the size of it, so you can, for example, say 400 pixels by 400 pixels, or you can say 100 pixels by 100 pixels, and so on and so forth. Once you're happy with the settings, all you have to do is go back to Create Thumbnails, drag and drop your images in there, and new images will be created for you. If you now unpack those, you will see that the changes that we defined will be applied to them. So now when I look at those, they will be centered on a background of a green color rather than just being the thumbnails themselves. That's actually more or less all that is to MakeThumbnails.com. What you can do as well is, if you don't want to have a whole package of thumbs but just want to see them and turn them on, you can turn on the Hide View Thumbnails. Then you can see the last thumbnails that have been created. And if you drag new ones into it, you will actually see the previews. So instead of getting a zip file of all the ones, you can now click them one by one and save them. So now I have this TN here, and I can save it wherever I want to. Of course, by clicking this button here, you still have the option to download all of them as thumbnails. Once you're happy with the settings that you have, you can actually resize the image, resize the folder, the browser as well, to become a tool. So in this case, you can click also the Open Tool image here, and when you now got a bigger window of your Finder, for example, like this one here, and now this becomes a tool that is much easier to use. So I can still monitor my test folder here. So now I can just drag them in there and drag others in there, and so on and so forth. It just becomes an add-on to my Finder instead of being an extra tool that you want to use and go to. All the settings that you have are being stored for you. So when I reload this page right now, and that will be the same on the internet, you can actually see that the options that we defined before with the 100 by 100 pixels and the background color has been retained for us. So that's MakeThumbnails.com. It works offline. I am offline right now. So have fun creating some thumbnails of your images.